And thanks to all concerned at the Sunday Press for their support over the years. That's it for tonight. We hope you've enjoyed
It's action from round 20 as Collingwood and Fitzroy battle it out in what was billed as an early elimination final. Could the Magpies come back, or would Fitzroy make it 6 wins on the trot? At Jollymont, the MCG was back in action for the first time in 3 weeks as the Demons tried to arrest their slump as they played host to Sydney. The Swans, however, were on a high, winning their last 3 games. All the day's highlights on Saturday Night Replay. And after a very windy Saturday, good evening everyone and welcome to Saturday Night Replay. From round 20 today, the big clash at VFL Park between Collingwood and Fitzroy, while from the cricket ground, Melbourne versus the Sydney Swans. The MCG was in use for the first time in some 3 weeks this afternoon as Melbourne clashed with the Sydney Swans. The Demons, losing their last 3, made 2 changes to their selected lineup, Hughes and Bennett out for Yates and Bailey. Sydney, by contrast, had won its last 3 and subsequently, at least on a mathematical table, had a very rough chance for the final 5. In the commentary box at the cricket ground this afternoon, Drew Morfett, Peter McKenna and Bernie Quinlan. And tonight we pick up the action at the start of the last quarter, Melbourne leading by 2 points.
Big quarter of football coming up here at the MCG. 2 points the difference. The Demons lead the Sydney Swans. Been a good, hard, tough game right from the start. First whistle. This is young Matthew Wheeler receiving from Mitchell then. Oh, nice long kick too, right up in front of goal. Mackesy and Sean White are the flyers. It's tapped back to Viney. Viney's gone wide. He's looking out there for Bailey. Bailey takes the mark in front of Higgins. This is Brett Bailey. A late inclusion in the side. Danny Hughes didn't play and neither did Bennett, the full forward. Up to half forward, tapped on by Steins was good play. Spalding moves it on with a quick hand pass to Campbell. Campbell looking for Yates, he's caught. Spalding, a quick hand pass, went straight to Barling and the Swans will get out of trouble through Rod Carter.
Greg Williams leads the race. Road has never been far away. Williams being booed every time he gets near it after that report. It comes to Bays. Bays back looking for Williams. Rhodes got him again. Possibly before the ball came out. There's no whistle on it and it'll be a ball up.
Gee, they pounce Bernie on Greg Williams quickly, don't they?
Well, they know he's such a dangerous player. They're so keen to cut him out of the game.
His stats today, 4 kicks, 11 handballs. He's kicked the ball just 4 times. Goes Melbourne's way. Healy. He could have put that down the tackle. Higgins, the hand pass back to Neagle. Fight on behind play. Neagle across to Carroll. Carroll's kick inside half forward. Mackesy underneath the ball. Chance for Thripp though. The fight still going on centre wing. Terry Thripp round onto the left boot, but his kick is astray. In front of goals though, Wheeler. He's knocked over by Lovett. Lovett does well to paddle the ball to Yates. Yates going defensively.
Graham Yates has found his captain, Greg Healy. He's at half-back flank. Now he tried to chip it. He saw out of the corner of his eye Todd Mine. He tried to chip it but didn't get the right roll on the drop punt. Bernie?
No, he tried to kick that one around the corner and just didn't drop it on the boot correctly.
Well, it's on centre wing. It's been a very entertaining game, this one. Not a lot of goals scored, but it's been tough and hard. Mitchell. Oh, good play by Mitchell. Over to Higgins. Now it's with Greg Williams getting the hoops of the Melbourne supporters. He sets it up for his forward. Steve Wright in front of the pack. Good play by Sean White as he goes wide, but Terry Thripp, he gets a bad bounce. Phoebe off the ground. Stephen Wright after him and, well, a bit of desperation stakes at the beginning of this last quarter. I think we're in for a great final quarter here at the MCG.
It's a worry for the Sydney Swans when Steve Wright has to do the contesting with the high marking up on that forward line.
Well, if the Swans win it, they can be just 1 game out of the 5 with 2 rounds to play. Melbourne, even if they lose, will still be 4th, but no certainties to make the finals. Bolton across to Mitchell. High to full forward. Mackesy outmarked by White, who jumped from behind. A change on the Melbourne bench with Bailey going off, replaced by Tingay. Long kick by White. It comes to the back of the pack, but Kellett first back there. A chase on with Glenn Lovett. Or Kellett's kicked it out on the full. And it'll be a free kick to Lovett.
I think it was a bump ball.
Oh. Okay, a throw-in.
Well, it's on centre wing with 2 points the difference. Melbourne leading. Barling has rucked nearly all day. Parsons is on the bench. There's Glenn Lovett crashing his way through. A quick hand pass towards half forward. Strong play by Dennis Carroll. Now, that is not holding the ball. Good umpiring decision, because the ball was caught down between his legs. So it will be a bounce at half forward. 9-9 plays 8-13. Steins against Barling. Steins tapping it down. There's Mitchell or Carroll, and a throw, another throw paid against the Swans. So free kick will go to Jimmy Steins.
Free kicks now 20-19 in favour of Melbourne. 21-19. Here's a chance for Wilson just outside 50. Kick smothered by Neagle, best on ground. Neagle threads through an excellent hand pass to Carroll. Carroll further afield to Mitchell. Mitchell straight up the ground past Williams, on the bounce to Tui. Tui on the turn. High kick. Mackenzie right in front. Well, White beat him last time, but Mackenzie squared the ledger that time.
Yes, I think Sean White there thinking maybe again that he could go for the high fly from behind, and the ball dropping short around the corner there from Tui. Mackenzie slipping away to take a very easy chest mark.
7 marks. 10th kick coming up, and he's going for goal number 3, which he gets.
Well, he's been a very handy performer for them on the forward line. 2 goals in that third quarter, and now 1 in the last quarter. Had Danny CO taken from him, and CO still on the bench. Sean White now playing on him. Has taken a couple of high marks over the top of Mackenzie, but on this occasion caught behind when the ball dropped suddenly, and Mackenzie in the best position playing in front.
Well, Darren Mackenzie, a great improver in VFL football. He has had Danny CO moved off him. Sean White taken from the forward line down to him. CO off the ground, in fact. O'Dwyer trying to tap it down. Road will lose it to Callett. Oh, the Swans looking dangerous. Callett down towards Tui. Has probably been nearly the best forward on the ground. Tui got good play, Bernard Tui. He kept chasing right out to the half forward line. He's a great contester.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Peter. He gives him a bit of a target on that forward line.
Throw in. O'Dwyer to Healy. Off the ground by Lovett, but Healy will take a free kick for a push in the back. So the Swans have hit the front after Mackenzie's goal. They lead by 4 points, so we've had many changes of the lead here today in a game where there's hardly been any more than a kick between them. Low scoring, tight contest. Healy's kick to centre wing. Steins and O'Dwyer both there, neither could mark, and the ball goes out in the interchange gate.
Right on centre wing, Swans by 4 points at the moment. A vital game for them in particular. Well, vital for Melbourne also, but more so the Swans, I would think, if they've got any chance. There's Glenn Lovett smothered off his boot. This is Higgins, brought the ground from behind, and that's in the back. And the umpire had no doubt about that one. This is Higgins from centre wing, has gone wide. Matthew Wheeler shoved out of it by Campbell. It was fair, hip and shoulder. Good play by Campbell. This is Graham Yates, short to Steins, and Stotts gets a clip across the ear for his trouble and gets up with a big grin on his face. The little man Higgins taking on the big man there in Steins. Steins to half forward. Neagle in front. Oh, nearly a good mark. Couldn't quite take it. Mitchell. Spalding. Oh, trapped that beautifully. Spalding over to Wilson. Now it's Greg Williams and Phelan. Strong work by Wilson. Here's a hand pass coming out the road from 50 metres. Oh, no, umpire. You are not going to pay that, but it's gone through anyway for a goal, I think. He's going to pay a hip and shoulder and down the ground, but it might be a goal anyway. Yes, it is.
It was just a glance,
but it caught my eye, cruising all along with the spunk inside. Never thought that I would ever fall so
got a twin cam donk and all the stuff you want. Gotta get a Holden Nova. It's the car you'll love.
Cade, the new car, it's beautiful. And make sure you keep it that way by using Win Spitfire Plus in its fuel tank. Used regularly, Win Spitfire Plus cleans your car's fuel system while you drive. Stops carburetors and fuel injectors from clogging. So next time you fill up, add a bottle of Win Spitfire Plus. It's this easy. You'll have more power, better fuel economy and easier starting. Remember, when it's Wins,
It works.
From service stations and auto stores.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here, too. Let me get some drinks. No, let me. Waiter, drinks all around.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
If you want an aftershave that's a winner, go for Gold. Yardley Gold. The aftershave for men who like to win. Yardley Gold.
In a tight game, that could nearly be a match winner. Peter Rhodes' goal. Steins wins the tap. Wright will take a free kick. Grabbed when he didn't have the ball. Melbourne by 2 points. Kicked by Stevie Wright. Connolly goes the punch. Wilson in front. Mitchell spills to Tingay. Back he goes to Grinter. Grinter's kick to half forward. Healy drops the mark. Spalding does well. Puts the hand pass out wide. Too wide for Viney, but he's got plenty of time. Left footer by Viney. O'Dwyer down there. Couldn't take the mark. Campbell a chance. And well done by Roberts to rush her behind and kick an own goal. The margin 3 points.
Yes, good play by Ian Roberts. Anyone's game. This is a very, very evenly contested match right from the word go. First half, Swans with a better side, Melbourne with a better side in the third quarter, and this quarter's been very even. Mervyn Eagle, one of the best players on the ground, kicks it out towards the half-back line. Here's Peter Rode. Quick hand pass to Tingay. Over it goes to Steins. Steins towards full forward. The Flyers, and a brilliant mark taken by Tony Campbell.
Yes, that's a great grab there by Campbell in the middle of the pack. In the end, he took a chest mark. A player who's been in and out of the Melbourne side. Had a perfect set there. Wheeler coming from behind, trying to spoil.
Tony Campbell from directly in front. Kicks and has goal.
That's Campbell's second goal. Both been kicked in this second half. One in the third quarter, now one in this final quarter. And that's a type of team-lifting goal that Melbourne needed at this stage of the game in a very top match. Campbell had the set. And there he is taking a very good chest mark. One of the marks of the day there by Tony Campbell. And finishing it off with a very good goal from 30 metres out.
Margin out to 9 points. Oh, Greg Williams, a great gather in the middle. Bays back to Williams. Williams a hand pass wide to Bolton. What a top goal.
That was brilliant by Williams, was it?
Magnificent. That's the type of play that Melbourne are really worried about. That's why Peter Rhodes has tagged him everywhere he's gone. But Greg Williams, inspirational play there. Dashing through the centre. Hand pass to Bays, back again to Williams. A long hand pass there from Williams, setting it up for Bolton. And that's just the reply the Sydney Swans wanted.
That was magnificent to watch. From the centre bounce to see that play down the ground. Again, the margin is 3 points. Melbourne have not got this game won yet. Centre of the ground. Here's big Barling. That was terrific play. Here comes Williams again. He's gone wide with this one. Over the back of the pack. Wheeler Kicked away for Melbourne, though, by Grinter. It's all Swans, though. David Murphy's been fairly quiet. He's got it this time, though, on the left foot. Up to Mackesy. It's hooked down to the ground. Here's Steins again, out of the full-back area, but it's gone straight to Stephen Wright. Well, this is a great contest at the moment. Steve Wright sets it up for his forwards with a long drop punt. It's 1 on about 4. That might bounce through. No, it won't, because Steins just gets there in time to tap it through. And now the margin is only 2 points in favour of Melbourne. What a game.
Gee, they're both playing as though their lives depend on it. Grinter's kick in. Finds Connolly. Half-back flank. Over the top to a running player in Brett Lovett. Lovett to Yates, centre wing. Yates leaves off. Comes off to Yates, off Glenn Lovett, but intercepted by Murphy. To Roberts. Quick interchange. Higgins. In he goes to Carroll. Swans have lifted in the last couple of minutes after that brilliant goal set up by Williams. White, the hand pass to Phoebe. Phoebe back to Grinter. Oh, great play by Grinter. Confidence. Road.
Yes, that was confidence, because I thought he was going to be claimed then. This is Peter Road to centre wing. Now, is that some shepherding going on there against Rod Carter on Stephen O'Dwyer, and the umpire had a good view of that. Umpire David Howlett.
Well, it's cribbed about 3 metres on the mark.
That's experience for you. There's Steve O'Dwyer bringing it towards half forward. There's his partner in crime, Steins, and they've taken many marks since half-time, those two. This is Steins setting it up for Campbell again. Campbell in front, fisted away from him. There's Greg Williams cleverly across to right. Out it comes towards Murphy, who ran straight at the ball. That is great play by David Murphy. Fantastic football as it hooks it back. Graham Yates is caught, and the umpire said in the back.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, was it ever. Great tackle by Bolton.
Yeah, I thought it was a top tackle.
Well, this game being played like a final. It's virtually an elimination final for the Swans. They're looking for their 4th win in a row, though. Campbell couldn't get through the pack. The umpire's seen a high tackle.
Oh.
Free kick to Campbell. Well, that is a tough one. And Greg Williams has chipped the umpire. And umpire David Howlett saying, cool it down, son. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the tribunal.
Well, let's have a look at this again.
The initial tackle was round the waist. Slipped the arm up at the end.
Campbell from 50. A boomer. A great goal.
Where do millions of jets, helicopters, planes, trains and trucks go when they're low on fuel? The same place you do. BP. BP, on the move.
A sensitive stomach finds some foods hard to digest. But you can replenish the body's natural digestive cultures with Revital, the milk for people who find some foods hard to stomach.
Moving the troops effectively takes skill and experience. Doing it economically takes Nissan know-how. During his winter campaign, the Nissan dealer is under orders to move out the Nissan Pathfinder, Nissan's four-wheel drive freedom machine, from $23,990, and clear stocks of the roomy 8-seater Nissan Nomad. That's Nissan know-how. That's a magnificent offer.
Used regularly, Win Spitfire Plus cleans your car's fuel system while you drive. So next time you fill up, add a bottle of Win's Spitfire Plus. You'll have more power, better fuel economy and easier starting. When it's Win's,
it works.
What more perfect way to open your Sunday than by opening the new Sunday Herald? You can leaf through environmental issues, tune into new business technologies, even catch up on social gossip. And in the 72-page full-colour magazine, browse through fine collectibles. Then armchair travel, before getting into the latest fashions. What's more, there's Sunday morning home delivery. The Sunday Herald.
Perfect Sunday!
A sudden fall leads to an emergency. Without immediate action, she will die. So a doctor decides to operate. But is it the right decision?
What will her life be like when she comes out of the coma?
Monday, on A Country Practice, the dilemma of making a hasty decision.
If I had yesterday over again, I would never have done it.
Would it have been better to let her die?
He said you'd be all right.
Rather than the possibility of life as a vegetable?
And what gave you the right?
A Country Practice, 7:30 Monday on 7.
8 points the difference now. It'll be hard for the Swans. There is still 12.5 minutes of play left. Bad luck that they got a goal that way, actually, because it was a good, tight, hard contest. There's Viney towards half forward. Flintoff. Healy. Greg Healy into the open goal. It's another one to the Demons.
And that's going to make it very tough for Sydney now. A 14-point break to Melbourne. And again, they won the ball out of the centre. Good ruck work there by Steve O'Dwyer. Greg Healy kicking his third goal, getting it down to the forward line very quickly. Contested again there by the big man, Jimmy Steins.
Gee, Greg Williams is having plenty to say to David Howlett. He is just hasn't let up on him about that.
And look out, he's got the book out again.
He's going to be recorded for chatting him now.
There you are. You could see it coming.
Well, I think he did dive for the book, but I don't think he wrote.
Maybe a warning.
Maybe. Biggest lead for the game, 14 points. Melbourne in front. Hooked out of there by Healy, who kicked the goal. Yates under pressure. Spalding grabbed when he didn't have it. And now the free kicks are starting to go Melbourne's way. They trailed by a long way early on, but now lead 26-21 in free kicks. Campbell with a big climb. It comes here to Viney, and Viney into an open goal.
Well, let's shut the gate now. Todd Viney kicking his second, and Melbourne racing away to a big advantage. Nothing in it at the start of this final quarter, but the last 3 goals have been kicked by Melbourne. I thought maybe a free kick could have been paid against Campbell there. Not taking the mark, definitely pushing Mark Callard out of position. Let's have a look at that again. Oh, well, see for yourself, it definitely looked as if he pushed him out. If you don't take those marks, it surely should be a free kick.
I think it's a free kick if you do take them, Bernie. If you push the man out of the contest, but 20 points the difference. Here comes Melbourne again through Tingay. A long driving kick. Campbell couldn't quite take it. Here's a hand pass over to Steins. What can he do? Steins against Carter. He's lying on top of the ball. Now he gets it out to Wilson. Smothered off his boot. Here's Barry Mitchell, tackled by Campbell, and the ball is forced through for a behind. There is still time for the Swans if they're good enough. They trail by 21 points, 11 minutes, just over 11 minutes of play left.
Well, it's been a rush of goals in this final term. 5 goals by Melbourne and 2 by the Sydney Swans. Top little hand pass out to Yates from Viney. Short pass, Phoebe. Stephen Phoebe will be kicking from about the 50-metre. Not a bad kick. Right to the goal square. A mark! Not paid to Spalding. Back it comes to Flintoff. Kick across the face of goal for a behind.
Melbourne really playing well in this last 5 minutes. Not last 5 minutes of the game. This past 5 minutes they've been playing very, very good football.
That's 5 behinds to Flintoff.
Neagle, the best man in the ground for 3 quarters. There's Tingay over to Glenn Lovett, trying to keep the ball in play. But I think a lot of the sting might have gone out of the Sydney Swans now, Bernie.
Yes, that last 5 minutes has done the damage, hasn't it?
Well, you just can't afford to be continually kicking it up forward and not capitalising. It can cost you games. You haven't got good class forwards.
Steins over the back of Barling. Glenn Lovett to Viney. Centering kick. Almost a mark to Campbell. Play on. Kellett. Still time for the Swans, but they need 4 goals. Good chase by Campbell. Put Kellett off his kick. Well, it comes the Swans' way. Tui picks up. Glass with a long one. It is a long kick. Bounces near the goal square. Mackesy. Right, a goal.
Well, the Sydney Swans still firing, trying hard. Mackesy doing a good job up on that forward line. Sean White taking his eyes off the ball there on that occasion. Didn't know where it was, just ran back towards the goal square. As we can see here, Sean White not looking, not knowing where it was. Mackesy taking the ball, probably unfortunate not to get a free kick because Sean White held on for a long time. But it didn't matter because Steve Wright chipped in there and finished it off for the Sydney Swans.
Melbourne lead the Sydney Swans by 16 points. Parsons is back on the ground, but here's a long kick coming from Tingay towards the full forward line. Can the Swans get out of trouble? They can. Carroll over to Fireland. They need the next goal. Swans badly. He's gone wide. Greg Williams. Long hand pass, doesn't quite reach the target. Thripp was grabbed, and the umpire said that. Thripp plays on. Over to Williams, and now, oh, you can't play on handball from the free kick, of course, and the umpire onto that.
Well,
and Terry Thripp hangs his head.
That's a rule that's under consideration, of course, Peter, too.
I wish they'd get rid of it.
I agree.
It's at half forward, well, halfway between centre wing and half forward. Here come the Swans. Thripp, over it goes to Fireland. Now it's wide to Barry Mitchell. Mitchell over his head to Williams. Williams heads for the boundary line because he was under pressure. And over the line it went.
8.5 minutes remaining. The Swans need 3 goals to win. 16 points the margin in favour of Melbourne. Hooked over his head by Flintoff. Williams sandwiched. Flintoff went without it. Phoebe. Little toe poke to it. And a further one. Tingay a hand pass to Flintoff. Oh, that's a beauty. Out to Connolly, who's got a bit of space. Chris Connolly running away from Barling, but Barling gets him. High to half forward. And a mark here to Melbourne, but a push out by Healy. Free kick to the Swans. Roberts.
Ian Roberts goes wide. Dangerous. Oh, Winters caught. Taps it on. Here's a chance for Melbourne. Graham Yates from directly in front. Kicks and misses, but that was dangerous play by Ian Roberts to kick out there to Callett. 17 points. They still need, that point won't make much difference. They still need 3 goals, and they've got 7.5 minutes of play left in which to do it. The Swans. Irv Neagle would be a pretty tired player. He's had a great day. He's been in fine form. Towards half-back, this is Tui. To Carter, and Rocket Rod Carter coming from the half-back line. Nice-looking kick. Bayes in front. Tapped the ground. Here's Greg Williams, stilting the hoots of the crowd. Wanted the handball, and now he gives a low trajectory pass meant for Mackesy, but a good mark has been taken by Sean White.
White in the back pocket. Goes for O'Dwyer at centre half-back. Slides off the hand pass to Connolly. It's blocked well. Comes the way of Wright. Dodging, weaving. His little left footer is good to Mackesy. Oh, did he mark it? Umpire paid it. I think he might have just spilt that one. And right on the 50-metre line, he'll have to kick from about 54 metres to clear the man on the mark. That'll test him. Don't think he'd make the distance. Parsons underneath it. At the back, Mitchell.
Well, there's the value of Parsons. At least he led on that occasion. And it left a bit of an opening there in the forward line with Mitchell slipping in. And at least it takes the defenders away from that goal square. Mackesy's kicked just a little bit too high for Parsons, but it takes a taller player out of the action.
And a goal here would put the Swans within 2 goals. He's got it.
That's it. Had enough. I understand you've worked all your life and you can't afford a holiday.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere but here.
Okay, let's do it.
What with?
Read this.
You've got this much? We've got this much? How did we do this?
It's called savings, Dan. Remember savings? Comes before spending.
Bit of interest.
Every day of the year.
I can't take this. You saved it. It's your money.
No, it's our money, Stan.
For a minimum deposit of $50, a State Bank investment account allows you to watch your money grow while you earn high interest calculated daily, and your money's at call.
Seems a shame to spend it.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
State Bank investment account. We never forget. It's your money.
Yep.
CRC 556. Keep a can on hand.
What more perfect way to open your Sunday than by opening the new Sunday Herald? You can whip through some sport. Do a little business before Monday. Even expose yourself to culture. Then in the 72-page full-colour magazine, thumb through the gardening. Take a sharp turn for motoring before devouring all the food and wine. What's more, there's Sunday morning home delivery. The Sunday Herald.
The perfect Sunday!
In Home and Away,
my wife, Louise, and I want Sally to be a part of our life.
they can't have kids of their own.
You're not thinking of taking her permanently?
Yes.
So they want to steal somebody else's.
He hasn't ever wanted to see me before. Why does he want to see me now? I'm scared of him, Carly.
Monday at 6:30 on 7.
Here's the Tats 2 results, just drawn under government supervision.
$11 points, the margin, so 2 straight kicks. Barling against O'Dwyer. Barling gets it to ground. Which way will it go? It's Rod Carter. Oh, sidestep beautifully. Caught with the ball. Over to Stephen Wright. Right to half forward. The Melbourne defence. Try and get it away. That's Phoebe. A quick kick out of defence. Rod Carter again. Drops the ball. In they go after it. Filan lies on top of it. And the umpire will come in and bounce it. Filan should be trying to hit it out at this stage. They've got to get it loose.
Grinter and Wright having a bit of byplay there. Ball up centre wing. 11 points the difference. 5.5 minutes left. Barling wins a beauty. Down to Mitchell. Mitchell's kick is marked by Connolly under a lot of pressure. Connolly goes back. Steins. Steins towards the outer side. The running Greg Healy. Kick by Healy. For Spalding. Knock to the front. Wright is caught. The umpire says it's held in there and he's going to ball it up. Well, the Swans have kicked the last 2 goals. They need 2 more to win and there's time left.
Melbourne desperately trying to hang on. There's the time clock, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Down the ground, here they come. Greg Williams is lifted as he kicks long and wide. He was looking for Tui. There's 2 Melbourne players though. Oh, the bounce will elude Sean White. Lovett gets it across to Steins. A clever little kick to Phoebe off the side of the boot. Steve Phoebe goes short to Lovett. And they're just holding up the play. Oh, he's off. And the Swans players just stood there and looked. Up towards half-forward. Could have been a push-out on the Melbourne player then. Here's Dennis Carroll. This will be a real contest if the Swans get the next goal. Over the back of the pack is Bolton. Let's see who can get the ball. The loose one will come to the Swans. This is Tui. Over the top to Thripp. Terry Thripp onto the left foot. Fires and misses. Oh. 3 minutes and 55 seconds of play left. The difference is 10 points.
Well, by G, Melbourne are good at defending a lead. They've won 7 matches this year by 14 points or less. Kick by White. Long kick. Bayes up with a chance to mark but couldn't. Wilson. Out to Yates. So it bounces off Carter and goes out of bounds. 3.5 minutes remaining. 10 points the difference. It's been close all day. But when Melbourne jumped out to a 4-goal lead, it looked all over. But the Swans aren't done with yet. Good hand pass Carter to Wright. Wright to half forward. What a mark that was by Thripp.
Top mark. No one leading. He's got to kick it high again. 2-on-2 contest. The ball hits the deck. Hand pass. It was a high tackle, I think. It was a high tackle on Jimmy Steins, and the umpires picked it up. But that's the perfect time where you must have a forwarder. That was Hawthorn.
Well,
you'd have Dunstall leading straight out.
Yeah, caught behind again.
And they stood back instead of running at Thrip and giving him a moving target. Until they do that, they'll never kick many goals, Swans. This is Steins towards the half-back line. O'Dwyer. Oh, silly hand pass to Greg Healy, but it might come off. Back it comes to O'Dwyer. Long hand pass. Oh, it's a loose one with Greg Williams to Steve Wright. Wright is caught and loses it. Hand pass over the top comes to Filan. Filan goes wide, straight in the hands of Spalding. Smothered off his boot, and over the line it goes half forward for the Swans.
Well, Greg Williams has come right into it. 24 possessions now, and he'd had just 9 to half-time. Comes down to Filan. Williams another one to Wright. He's kicked to half forward, bounces in no man's land, but a good gather by Connolly on the bounce. A magnificent hand pass to Wilson. Wilson straight to centre half forward. Flintoff got there on the half volley. Well, the umpires have paid the mark. Hope not. Free kick.
He paid the mark.
Yep, the mark's been paid.
Gee whiz. Wouldn't like to be given out at cricket with that one. Flintoff to full forward. At the back, Campbell.
He's done it well up there at full forward, Campbell, in this final quarter. Shooting for his 3rd goal. And he's given Mark Callett 3rd goal for the quarter, that is. 4th goal for the match.
Campbell can bury the Swans with this. Oh, it's poster. So the Swans are still in it with 1.5 minutes left. 2 goals can win it.
He's got to wait till the umpire waves the flag. Now, that's good thinking. Straight down the centre of the ground. They've got to get a quick goal. Oh, they're a chance because Tui's taken a big mark over the top. Now, he's got a running player there. They need something magical here from Murphy. Let's see what he can do. As he's being tackled, hand pass to Rod Carter. What's he doing up there? Good play by the big fullback. Over he goes to Thrip. Thrip on the left foot sets it up. They need a mark here, the Swans. Parsons can't take it, and take it away is Conley. Conley goes wide to Greg Healy. Time running out as for the Swans, that is, as Melbourne desperately defend. This is Greg Healy coming around the boundary line, sets it up for O'Dwyer, and those big men starting to be a telling factor in this game.
55 seconds left. O'Dwyer kicks into the man on the mark. Mitchell. The ball held in, and the ball up will use up time, and I think that's done the Swans for the season. What an effort they've put up today. And I think Greg Williams might still have something to say to the umpires as he leaves the ground, because he had plenty to say a while ago on a controversial free kick. Half a minute left. Out will do Melbourne. Well, the Swans led by a point at quarter time, 4 points at half time. Melbourne led by 2 points at 3/4 time, and they look like winning it by 11. Wright, desperate. Was he holding it? No, the umpire's going to ball it up, and this will be the last bit of play for the match. Melbourne lead 98-87.
And so the Demons running out victorious in a close one all day, 14-14 to 12-15. For Melbourne, Healy 3 and Campbell 3, their major goal kickers, and for the Sydney Swans, Mitchell 3 and Mackenzie 3. To face the tribunal, Greg Williams. He'll be facing abusive language and striking charges when the tribunal convenes at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and Scott Palmer will have further details a little bit later on during Saturday night replay. Let's go out to VFL Park now, where Fitzroy was chasing its 6th win on end, while Collingwood was trying to play itself out of a slump, having lost 4 out of the last 5, and indeed its place in the 5. It was billed as an early elimination final, and for the Magpies it certainly was, as another loss would have virtually meant the end of their finals aspirations, as they would have been 2 games behind Fitzroy. Both sides had brought back star players, an indication certainly that both sides were treating it as a very, very big clash. With me in the commentary box today, Ian Robertson and Don Scott, and we join the action tonight. 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and Collingwood leading by only 5 points.
Gary Pert will kick the ball in for Fitzroy. He kicks to that outer side. just slews off the side of his boot a little bit. Now's a chance for Collingwood. Wright, 150 metres. Graham Wright kicks the first goal.
Well, the first goal has finally come after about 19 minutes of play. Collingwood certainly have had more use of the ball, and both back lines are on top at the moment because of the pressure exerted by both sides. And that was a clean punch down by Monkhurst. It's always good to punch from behind there, I believe, and you can see there Wright straight onto that ball. It was a sensation last year, not as good this year, Graham Wright.
$11 points the difference. First goal kicked by Wright. Kerrison unable to break clear. The umpire, I'm sure, will ball it up in just a moment. He has blown the whistle for such. And getting up, holding his head is Armstrong.
Wasn't so long ago that a player trying to barge his way through like that, if he was caught, he was penalised.
Doesn't happen now. It didn't then. Rendell wins it from Monkhurst. Kapler, short kick to the edge of the square. Bounces out towards the wing position. Opportunity for Struper if he can pick it up. Got a very fickle bounce. Opened the gates for Morwood and or Brown. Now the ball is being brought back.
That was a good decision then by the umpire, because Tranter had not eyes for the ball. He just went straight at Struper's head when he was on the ground.
Struper with the free kick for Fitzroy. Up towards half forward, marked missed by Rendell, and putting it out of bounds on the full is Krasiska. Not the best piece of play that he'll, I dare say, put in for the afternoon.
Still not good on the right side, is he, Gavin Krasiska?
Paul Roos covering a lot of territory in this first quarter. Lynch, the high flyer, couldn't mark that one. Broderick, not Broderick, but Matera on the bottom of the pack. Kerrison, a good tackle. Our defence really has worked well today so far. Tranter's kick short to the wing position. Starcevic a grab in front of Stevens, paid by the umpire. Centering kick, Monkhurst in front of Rendell, right at the circle. Need to get it moving quickly. Does so. Straight down the ground. At the back, Clayton got two hands to it. Good backup support from Gary Pert, and well shepherded by Stevens. Pert with the run. Nimbus stand side. Starcevic in pursuit. Won't catch him. Well done, Gary Pert, on centre wing. Hooks the kick. Looks for. Finds Matera. Bad hand pass. No, it's okay. Picked up by Broderick ultimately. Osborne. Oh, hip out. Yes, Banks not in it.
Great play.
We saw him do that last week against Andrew Lockyer, a great big full-back, and the strength that that man possesses is just quite amazing. We saw it then, the way he edged out Banks. Good mark.
Osborne kicked one behind so far from the opposite side. Drills that one. That's Fitzroy's first goal. Or is it hit a post? That's a goal.
That was it. Never thought you'd get rid of your old bus.
Yeah, well, it was all right till you had to carry something. But I'll tell you what, mate. Bit of guts under the bonnet doesn't go astray.
Eh? All much of a muchness these days.
Don't you believe it?
Be with you in a sec.
Okay.
You must be doing all right then.
If I charged like you, I'd be doing a lot better.
So, you happy with it?
What do you reckon?
It's been quite a night, we've had some fun, we must have danced with everyone, and now it's looking like that time of day. The footy's over, they've all gone, you didn't even see who won, and now it's looking like that time of day.
It's looking like that time of day, that 4 and 20 time of day. It's looking like that 4 and 20 time of day. Okay! It's looking like that 4 and 20 time of day.
Morning, darling.
Okay, darling.
Right.
Throughout time, the best inventions have always been machines that free us up from behaving like machines. Wouldn't the ultimate machine, therefore, be one that frees us up to do more, think more, and help us achieve our full potential?
Morning, mate.
A machine that not only takes care of so many of the mechanical, day-to-day tasks, but also helps you to do those things only humans can do.
Right.
Good night, Mac. Think about it.
Turn everything off now, Harry.
Oh, all right then. Good night.
Hi, have you heard the news?
I can't believe it's true.
I couldn't wait to let you know.
I just had to talk to you.
The new reduced international direct dial prices from OTC have got everyone talking. Standard calls to New Zealand have come down, and off-peak is even cheaper.
It doesn't cost as much to make a call.
To stay in touch. OTC. Our reduced rates have got everyone talking.
OTC. Nobody knows Melbourne like 7. 7 nightly news knows Melbourne.
When people out there turn their telly on, they expect the best possible news reports.
There's more to sport than just the scores. There's all the emotions. There's tension, humour, sadness.
Viewers don't miss a thing. That's why we can't either.
Nobody knows Melbourne like 7.
Osmond's first goal, Fitzroy's first. It's 5 points the difference. 6.5 minutes left in the quarter.
Monkhurst, who's doing pretty well in those centre ruck contests. Baldwin can't get it out. Monkhurst just gets a little kick to it. Kapler, right foot kick wide. To the advantage of Gale, he was held. Umpire calls play on. Mullane doesn't waste any time. Kicks it high towards centre half forward. Oh, down goes Kapler. Pretty crude tackle, that one.
I thought that was just play on then. I thought Brown was going for the ball.
Kapler, 8th kick coming up. He's at centre half back. A long kick right out in front of Paul Roos. Close to the boundary line. The captain, good tackle by Gafer. Gather by Brown. Hand pass back to Tony Shaw. Collingwood did it well there. Gafer back to Tony Shaw again. The short kick. The bounce is a disadvantage there for Blakey. Kapler, 10th kick around the corner. Tony Shaw.
Giving Turner a hiding.
Kicked by Tony Shaw as a scrubber, and the mark has been taken for Fitzroy by Strooper.
Strooper, one of the rookies in the Fitzroy side. In front is Christian, Lynch behind. Broderick missed it. Krasiska. Richard Osborne and Banks having a nice old dish up behind play. That is a ripper. Play is a long way away from that on the centre wing position. And Banks just about getting 2 falls out of 3. More players are running as Rhys-Larkus picks up the ball. This is good. You've got to watch the play through the monitor and the fight through the binoculars.
Well, both those players don't mind a fight. Banks and Osborne.
It seems to have been broken up now. Rhys-Larkus, Monkhurst. Oh, a high bomb, torpedo. Bad sort of a kick. Brown, if he can get around. Brilliantly done, Gavin Brown. Snapshot. What a ripper. It's a goal.
Well, Gavin Brown playing on that half-forward line has really given him a bit of bite today. He's already figured prominently. Made his name as a wingman for Collingwood. And he's got a lot of courage. 4th in last year's best and fairest and 3 goals last week. You can always depend on Brown, although he's been a little quiet since the state game.
And Dennis Banks and Richard Osborne still having a bit of a dish-up. I don't know if any numbers have been taken. Umpire speaking to them. Dennis Banks, I know, fancies himself as a bit of a boxer.
Well, Richard Osborne's not bad with his hands either.
And he's still got plenty to say. I don't know if any numbers were taken. I didn't see the books come out, but of course, it's pretty hard to tell.
I think he's suggesting there that there might have been a little bit to do with the around that facial area on Dennis Banks.
Well, Osborne told the umpire when he came out, the emergency umpire, that Banks hit him first, and then Banks said it was Osborne that hit him first. So
well, if the emergency umpire came out, Don, be a fair chance the numbers being taken, wouldn't it? Misconduct in wrestling would be a reportable offence. Back into the centre. And after that great goal by Brown, Shaw tries to break clear. Kerrison has the chance to do that. Morwood finally. Kick up towards half forward. Starcevic should have marked that one, but it was a difficult one to grab, running with the flight of the ball. There is a free kick.
Held when he didn't have it.
So Craig Starcevic, who can kick the ball long. The distance may be a problem with this swirling wind. 4 minutes and a bit left in the opening term.
Big man, Craig Starcevic, 193 centimetres. I'd suggest he'd have a height advantage there over Brett Stevens. The kick by Starcevic is okay. Third goal to Collingwood.
Well, that looked a terrific kick off the boot. I suppose you'd call it a fade if it was a golf shot, because he seemed to allow for the breeze. And then when it left the boot, it went from left to right. And a very, very good kick off the boot, because that breeze is swirling around. He's playing on the half-forward line, Starcevic, and moving around. Not a quick player, but he's basing it on fitness today.
So back in the centre, Matt Rendell, who's really struggling against Monkhurst. Right, can't quite control the football. Burke in there for Fitzroy. And with 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter, we'll have another ball up very close to that centre circle. Collingwood, they lead by 17 points. They've kicked 3 goals straight. They had 6 behinds on the scoreboard. They now have 3-6 to 1-1. Armstrong over the top. Tony Shaw. Krasiska. Broderick. He's caught, but the umpire calls play on. Hawke has pulled off the ball. Kerrison's quick kick to half forward. And Starcevic, who was quiet in the first 10 minutes, has certainly come into it in the middle 10 minutes of this term. Starcevic, the kick to the front of the square, and it's helped through by Gary Pert and Roddy McEwen for another behind to Collingwood. 3-7 plays 1-1, and we're pretty close to quarter time here at VFL Park in a very, very crucial match for both sides.
Especially the Magpies, Ian. They trail the Royals by a game. Pert's kick to the outer side. Long arms of Monkhurst went up and come down with the ball. I don't know whether he's going to be paid, is he? Yes, he is.
Collingwood a little bit more desperate at this stage than what Fitzroy are. Fitzroy have really got to put their noses to the wheel.
Monkhurst, left half forward flank, long way from goal. Numbers favour Fitzroy. Punch on by Pert, tries to find Wind. He applies the tackle, maybe too late. Shaw. Monkhurst. Oh, dummies well for a big fellow. Did it twice. Long kick. Risalakis should have marked it. Dacos will kick a goal.
Gotta get a hold of Nova, 'cause it goes real quick. Gotta get a hold of Nova, never look so slick. Gotta get a hold of Nova, the car I love. It's got a twin cam donk and all the stuff you want. Gotta get a hold of Nova, it's the car you love.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here too. Let me get some drinks.
No, let me. Waiter, drinks all around.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
If you want a high return investment without any hidden charges, try a state mortgage. High returns, nice and safe.
The Sunday Sun Plus.
Did the CIA kill John Lennon? Read why a top legal man thinks the answer is yes.
Plus, award-winning journalist Philip Knightley looks at Paul Keating's younger years in this exclusive interview.
Plus, the Sunday Sun has a giant picture spread on Batman, plus the chance to win free double passes.
Plus, in the 40-page TV magazine, a poster of supergroup Poison. The Sunday Sun.
It's everything you love about the Sun Plus.
On the show next week, Jeff Fennick, Judy Nunn, Jeannie Little, Nicole Dixon, John Dieterich, Andrew Gaze, and Pixie Ann Wheatley.
The Bert Newton Show, 12 o'clock Monday. Next on Hinch.
If the animal cannot be rehabilitated totally to the wild, it will be put down.
Imagine sick and injured native animals being nursed back to health, only to face a government department death sentence.
native animals on death row, next on Hinch.
Sunday on the magical world of Disney.
Definite fixer-upper.
The Davises are moving into a new house.
This house has a tragic history.
Their previous tenants are deceased.
But not departed.
There are no ghosts in this house.
Now it's every man, woman and child for themselves. Ralph's Benji Gregory.
And John Astin.
I'd move.
Starring Mr. Boogedy.
Spirited fun for the whole family on the magical world of Disney. 6:30 Sunday on 7.
11 effective scoring shots in the first quarter to Collingwood and only 2 by Fitzroy, and the bottom line was a 24-point advantage at the first change in favour of Collingwood. Let's go back to VFL Park now as we see some highlights of the next 2 quarters.
Dacos has the ball outside 50 metres, only a couple of paces, but the kicks to the front of the square. Percentage football, Kerrison, he'll kick the goal.
Good hip and shoulder by Tranter, who comes out with the ball. Krasiska on the run, just off the edge of the square. Big Monkhurst, excellent hand pass. Jamie Turner directly in front, 40 out, shoots, goes! Another one. Ball slews off the side of the boot. Bounce doesn't favour Short, does favour Fitzroy. Rendell, looping hand pass to Gale on the edge of the square. Gale, low trajectory kick, looks for... Oh, he might get a goal! He has! He put it through! Tranter again, playing a pretty good sort of a game. Rhys-Alakis, who's kicked a goal, could have had a couple, tackled by Blakey. And he kicked the ball in play. Gavin Brown, brilliant player. Now who's holding who? Clayton looks for the free kick, and McEwen soccer it off the ground, or is that through?
Bounce through anyway.
It's a goal. Dennis Banks, who has the job of minding Osborne so far. Osborne's kicked 1 goal, so on that score, statistically, he's done a good job. Christian, Rendell, Wine, now he could score from there, 35 metres out. He scored, and it looks like a goal. It is. A centering kick over the head of Dacos. McEwen, strength, outside 50, goes for distance with that kick and gets it. Oh, he's booted it! Unbelievable goal. Matt Rendell, former captain. Now roving at Grevers Armstrong, 30 metres out from goal. Fitzroy badly needs one, and he's put it through.
Fitzroy defence under pressure. Clayton pushed off it by Dacos. Dacos has spotted Rhys-Alakis. The little kick out wide. Rhys-Alakis up against the boundary line, goes for goal and Dobson.
Great goal.
And as you can see by the scores at 3-quarter time, Collingwood most consistent in the first, second and third quarters. The Magpies leading by 45 points at the final change. We return now to VFL Park. We pick up play at the start of the final term.
45 points Collingwood lead by. They led by 24 at quarter time, 29 at half time, and it's hard to see the Magpies being beaten at the moment with Fitzroy. A lot of injury problems. Gary Pert up near the centre of the ground. Broderick takes the hand pass from Matera. Christian's in the road, crashing through Roos. Chance for Fitzroy still, as the ball was booted up by Baldwin. That's a very, very high kick. Armstrong right on the boundary line, nearly runs out of room. It's picked up by Tranter, who's done well today, getting it to Banks. Hawke, looping hand pass, Morwood. Whatever he does is usually good. He doesn't waste a possession, he didn't that time. Getting it to Hawke, back to Christian. Rendell. So a turnover now as it comes back to Kapler. Spirals the punt kick. 2-on-1 in favour of Collingwood, knocked away by Banks. Back to Morwood, looking for a free kick. Fresh air shot. Gale, who's carrying a cork thigh. Tranter gets ridden into the ground. Armstrong, excellent hand pass. Roos should be able to score and puts through a valuable goal for Fitzroy.
And Paul Roos' first goal, but I think it's just a little too late, because in that third quarter, Collingwood really did increase the lead. But here's the ball going to be shot out. Gale tackled. Tranter, who I've been impressed with, just couldn't control it as he went to ground there today. And Paul Roos, a very, very easy goal. They don't come much easier than that.
Just one too many handball by Collingwood in the centre of the ground, wasn't it, Don? They came out of half-back pretty well, but...
Well, that's a sign of a team with plenty of confidence. They're running. They brought it from the full back line to the centre wing without anybody kicking the ball.
Well, 3 quick goals by Fitzroy, and all of a sudden you could see a little bit of panic by Collingwood. Wind well tackled. Pert. He's been productive already at half forward. Kerrison caught by Harris. Shane Morwood finds some space now, and here go Collingwood with right into the pocket. No mark taken by McEwen. Turner back onto the right foot. Could this be goal number 3 for Jamie Turner? Yes!
I bet he couldn't believe his luck, Jamie Turner, in his 100th game. The way the guys just went left and right and left the space for him to run into, it was quite amazing. Here it is, McEwen. Now watch Turner in the lead for the ball. One goes one way and they all seem, and he just made the critical turn at the right time. Came back to his trusty right foot, an easy goal and 45 metres out, and he's very happy.
So, whatever Fitzroy can offer, Collingwood have the answers. 11-17, plays 5-8. Rendell can't break away. Cloak just gets his foot to the ball, but it's to the advantage of the Magpies. Brown to Krasiska is brilliant. Krasiska's kick is a scrubber. Gather by Dacos is okay. Hand pass to Hawke into an open goal. And Hawke misses a sitter.
Should have kicked that one.
Second behind to Paul Hawke. And his game has been reasonable. 16 kicks and 9 hand passes.
That's better than reasonable, isn't it?
Yes, a pretty good player, Paul Hawke, and a bit of an underdog maybe for the Brownlow medal this year. His season has been fairly consistent. The kick in marked by Brown. He spots Dacos in the pocket, and Dacos takes the mark inside 50. Dacos has kicked 1 goal, and for him, a fairly quiet day. No one moving.
There's that hole there. If you can drop it over, someone lead into it.
Going for the torpedo punt kick, and he gets onto it too. Just floats across the front of the goals. There's a mark to Collingwood. Hawke.
See, I thought Hisselakis infringed then when he went for that mark. We'll watch this on replay. It wasn't. It was Mullane, in fact, who I thought infringed.
So Hawke has a chance to kick his first. Tight angle. It looks like a goal. Paul Hawke kicks his first, and Collingwood put the first nail in the coffin.
That's his 102nd goal in his league career. Paul Hawke, a very, very good player when in Sydney. Took a little while to come to grips with it. A different style of game down here in Melbourne with Collingwood, but a very, very good player from the Wagga Tigers. And it's good to see him start to come to grips with it and been a very good player with Collingwood this year.
Paul Hawke, the 9th Collingwood player to kick a goal today. His first 38 plays 90. Kerrison well tackled by 2 Fitzroy players. Nothing caught from the umpire. Fitzroy trying to work it forward, but it's David Cloak, the veteran, back into the side today. Krasiska takes the hand pass. Can Hawke make it another one? He got one a little high. Baldwin breaks clear for Fitzroy. Over the head of Kapler. Mullane may get there first. 2 speedsters. Wine tries to soccer it away. Back it comes to Morwood. Kapler ridden into the ground. And it's pretty untidy stuff out there at the moment. Morwood finally with a hand pass. Intercepting is Broderick. It's a brick wall insofar as Fitzroy is concerned. And the ball finally picked up by Baldwin. He drives it up to the edge of the square. Fitzroy marginally in attack. Matera well tackled by Christian. There's Lyon. Paddles the ball forward. Christian again. And they're going down like 9 pins. Who's going to get the free? It's going to be a Collingwood ball. And the skipper will take it. Could have gone the other way. Shaw to Turner. He had a quiet first quarter. Kapler took him apart, but since he's kicked 3 goals. Christian, mark or free kick?
Good mark by Michael Christian. Looks as if he might have injured himself, but that was a great mark. Running with the flight of the ball, not easy ones to take. You see here just eyes on the ball and just may have got a finger in the eye or in the nose.
McEwen leading out. Took a brilliant goal at the other end of the ground earlier in the match. We've seen him at the same ground miss some sitters from about 10 metres out. It's certainly one of the goals of the day. Similar distance out. Starcevic was the flyer. It's out of bounds. Under 20 minutes left in this match. So Collingwood, if they can stay in front, will draw level on points with Fitzroy, but of course they have a better percentage. Cloak.
She used his strength and experience then, didn't he, David Cloak? Good effort by the big fellow.
A few grey hairs there too around the temple, aren't there?
Wish I had as many as he did.
Out of bounds, or is it a behind?
Rushed behind.
Rushed behind, it is. Yes, you're right. So a point. And the scoreboard indicates Collingwood's 19th behind, 12-19 to 5-8. Lynch. Rod Austin has really thrown the side around today to try to get some drive, and by and large hasn't succeeded. Lynch, magnificent kick, covers 65 metres.
Roos can't mark. Harris has a chance. Strooper pulled off it by Kerrison. Desperate stuff by Mullane to get it back to Gafer. Gafer's sweeping hand pass. Harisalakis gets his left hand to the ball. Gafer's caught. Strooper just gets his foot to the ball. Kapler can't control it. Look, at all players are obviously pretty tired, and we've seen a fair amount of scrambly football. Mullane gets up holding his back. Let's hope he's all right. Very important player if Collingwood are to make 5th spot and then do anything in the finals. Cloak, Broderick over the top. Matera, short kick. Lyon goes straight through him, straight through Shane Morwood. He's quick to recover. A hand pass to Tony Shaw at centre-half back. Tony Shaw's kick a little too high for Gavin Brown. Blakey's back there quickly. Baldwin, sweeping hand pass. Armstrong, right in the centre of VFL Park. Matthew Armstrong's long kick to within goal-scoring distance for the Lions. Here's a chance now for Fitzroy. Leon Harris gives it out to Gary Pert. He fumbles. Well tackled by Shane Morwood. Back it goes to Leon Harris. He pops away and puts it through for Fitzroy's 6th goal.
Years of driving can take a terrible toll on your car. Your windshield cracks, the paint chips, and there's always the inevitable ding or two. But thanks to the remarkable technology in new BP Visco 2000 motor oil, there is a part of your car you can protect, your engine. Use new BP Visco 2000 and your engine just may outlast your car. BP, on the move.
I don't smoke. It's the only way to stay ahead of the game.
Winners are winners. Quitters are ahead. Because when you quit, you're ready and fit to let your body do its best. Let your body do its best.
It's been quite a night. We've had some fun. We must have danced with everyone. And now it's looking like that time of day. The footy's over, they've all gone. You didn't even see who won. And now it's looking like that time of day.
It's looking like that time of day. And 4 and 20 time of day. It's looking like that 4 and 20 time of day. Okay! It's looking like that 4 and 20 time of day.
Who was first to find you the perfect spot on the beach? Who was first to make your first home well within reach? Who was first interstate to find the house that was yours? Who was first with the best price? First National, of course. Who was first when you retired to spend more time on the course? Who was first? Local and national. First National, of course.
The Sunday Sun Plus.
Did the CIA kill John Lennon? Read why a top legal man thinks the answer is yes.
Plus, award-winning journalist Philip Knightley looks at Paul Keating's younger years in this exclusive interview.
Plus, the Sunday Sun has a giant picture spread on Batman, plus the chance to win free double passes.
Plus, in the 40-page TV magazine, a poster of supergroup Poison. The Sunday Sun.
It's everything you love about the Sun Plus.
This is a ski resort like any other. Only within this holiday crowd lurks a murderer. Ski lift to death. Tonight's mystery movie on 7.
Sunday, the Boomers take on the All-Stars, and North Melbourne battle Canberra in a grand final rematch.
Only on 7 Stars.
The Bears take on the high-flying Hawks in a desperate fight to get off the bottom. Can they cause the upset of the season? 2 o'clock Sunday.
Leon Harris, the 6th goal kicker for Fitzroy today. 6'8", David Cloak tries to bullock his way through again, socket away by Pert, albeit not very far. Morwood transfers play wide towards the member stand side, and a real juggle picked up by Baldwin. Getting underneath of Tony Shaw for the safe mark.
I'd love to know where he's playing.
He's had a midfield job, hasn't he, basically all day.
He's supposed to be with Leon Harris, or Leon Harris with him.
David Cloak. A familiar kicking style. That wasn't the desired result. Armstrong with the free kick out of bounds on the full. That's a beautifully delivered kick. Lovely drop punt. Lyon and Kerrison. Kerrison finally breaking clear, but gets tackled by Pert. Whistle had gone, and it will be a bounce. A little bit short of the right half forward flank for Fitzroy. 16.5 minutes left in this match in round 20. Rendell knocks it down. Another Fitzroy player, it would appear, carrying an injury. Official attendance today, 42,117. Wally Matera bearing the scars of battle. Mickey Conlon, named as an emergency, sits the bench. Rendell. Lyon. Pert. Wine. Fumbles a low hand pass. Rendell sockets it off the ground to his opposition, David Cloak, who gets it to Morwood. A more or less an effective hand pass. Lyon. Over it goes to Wine from a standing start, 50 metres out. Oh, that's a strong mark to Gale in front of Banks.
Good mark. He's obviously under a lot of duress.
He got a cork thigh or something similar earlier in the game, limped off and then had to limp back on.
You wouldn't be too good after Banks came crashing down on him either. Maybe he stubbed his foot then. Should we see it there? Do you think he stubbed his foot?
I think he's trying to protect that left leg, Don.
And Doug Barwick warming up and coming on for his first run. And he is replacing Shane Morwood, who has done a very good job today.
In the meantime, back with Gale as he kicks it goal and gets it.
Well, Michael Gale, one of those injured players, his second goal. In actual fact, his first goal came when he ran off the half-back line, and that was when he incurred his injury that he is now carrying. But I don't think he would have aided his cause by watch when he comes down there. Bang! Oh, that right leg.
2 goals to Michael Gale. Fitzroy still trailing by 41 points, though, at VFL Park. Under 15 minutes left. Gale's second goal, Fitzroy's 7th, 7-8 to 12-19 at VFL Park. Harris flips it on in front, right to Tony Shaw. Collingwood goes forward again to left half forward.
Tony Shaw with his 26th possession. Blakey kicks towards half forward. A flip over the back. Kick off the ground by Leon Harris. Tony Shaw again in the action. The ball close to the line. It just trickles over.
It's an amazing effort, isn't it, Tony Shaw? He's not a quick player. He's not a big player. He doesn't get much distance with his kicks, but he's always getting the ball.
A tremendous performer is Tony Shaw. Baldwin bumped off it by Wright. Wright just gets his left hand to the ball, but can't really deliver the hand pass. Armstrong to Wine. Wine goes back to Blakey. Blakey nearly tackled there successfully by Hawke. Breaks it, kicks it towards half forward. And is that a Fitzroy mark? No, play on, says the umpire. Gary Pert, Leon Harris. Roos now with the ball. Left foot kick by Roos towards full forward. Gale, it goes straight through him. At the back, Mullane. He'll be tackled by Lyon. He's dispossessed. He'll hurry it through for a rush behind to the Fitzroy side.
Just watching, Tony, sorry to cut across you, just watching Tony Shaw when the ball was coming down there, how he got in front of Leon Harris. He's also put Matthew Armstrong out of business today and picked up a lot of possessions. It's good to see a player put his opponent out of the game, then pick up possessions himself.
Banks kicks to half back. Cloak was the Collingwood player there. Wind, good tackle Cloak. Baldwin gets his kick away towards centre half forward. The bouncing ball, Matera. Good gather Gayfer. He's well caught. Matera shoots and pops it through.
Well, the ball just happened to spill out to Little Wally on that occasion. He kicked a point in the second quarter, but he's been put out of the game today by a young fellow who I'm very, very impressed with. And that's Brendan Tranter. There's Tranter, number 43, just going through screen. But he's been very, very impressive. Hasn't let Matera near the ball, and Matera in previous weeks been doing very well up on the forward line for Fitzroy. 11 possessions to Wally Matera. And just took note of Shane Morwood's statistics when he went off the ground. At that stage, he'd had 11 kicks and 17 hand passes. Wonderful.
Collingwood into attack. Burke at centre half back for Fitzroy. Clears out wide. Marked at Pern. Here comes Fitzroy back into attack.
Well, if they can get another couple of goals, it'll make the crowd come to life, certainly. Shaw racing for it. Gets beaten for it by Harris, but he's only tapped it as far as Banks. Gale overruns it, but of course he's not fit. Good hip and shoulder by Paul Roos. Banks tries to pick it up. Tranter does it easily as Gale, unfit, wasn't able to chase him. Turner, shepherded by Cloak, gets through some pretty heavy traffic there at left half forward. McEwen the target, strong grab. And Ron McEwen's kicking, as we know, is unpredictable at best, but did kick a beautiful goal earlier today at the other end. Strong hands.
His great strength is he's got amazing pace over the first couple of yards.
Let's see how he goes with this one. He's hooked it slightly, but it looks okay. It's his second goal.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1989 Premiership season.
And in the end, the Magpies running out convincing winners, although to the credit of Fitzroy, the side did come back well in the final term, beating 6-3, Collingwood leading all day and now back in the 5. Let's check the scores from the other games today. 3 other matches this afternoon. Essendon winning its 8th on end, and after a slow start at Windy Hill against North Melbourne, finally got up to get the points, winning by 16 points. Carlton and St Kilda turned on a thriller. Steve Kernahan finished with 10 goals. Winmar got 8 for St Kilda. The Blues by 1 point. And Footscray never in trouble against a very lacklustre Richmond combination who failed to score a goal after half-time today. Brian Royal finished up with 4 goals. The ladder, very interesting. Hawthorn on top, but they still have a game in hand. They play the Bears tomorrow. Essendon in second place. They've cemented that pretty well from Geelong, Melbourne and Collingwood now back in the 5, level on 44 points with Fitzroy, but the Magpies have a much superior percentage. And going down the bottom, it's rather interesting. Brisbane didn't play today, but they moved off the bottom by 0.5 of 1% after the Tigers copped a toweling at the Western Oval. There's plenty happening tonight in Melbourne, and most of it is up at the offices of the Sunday Sun. We go to Scott Palmer after this break.
Hey! That was it. Never thought you'd get rid of your old bus.
Yeah, well, it was all right till you had to carry something. But I'll tell you what, mate. Bit of guts under the bonnet doesn't go astray.
Eh? Oh, much of a muchness these days.
Don't you believe it?
Be with you in a sec.
Okay.
You must be doing all right, then.
If I charged like you, I'd be doing a lot better.
So, you happy with it?
What do you reckon?
If you want an aftershave that's a winner, go for gold. Yardley Gold. The aftershave for men who like to win. Yardley Gold.
Morning, darling. Right.
Throughout time, the best inventions have always been machines that free us up from behaving like machines. Wouldn't the ultimate machine, therefore, be one that frees us up to do more, think more, and help us achieve our full potential?
Morning, Mac.
A machine that not only takes care of so many of the mechanical day-to-day tasks, but also helps you to do those things only humans can do.
Right.
Good night, Mac.
Think about it.
Turn everything off now, Harry.
Oh, all right then. Good night.
If you're in business, you want advertising that works. Melbourne Big survey phones are monitoring results in businesses like IPEC Air Services, who say Melbourne Big represents a substantial part of all incoming calls. Kevin Chapman says Melbourne Big is doing a better job at a lower price, and his results prove it. The 1989 results are better than ever for Don Pittard's driving school. Display advertising really works. Make sure that Melbourne Big works for your business. Phone right now on 6464
If you want high security but lower returns, try a bank. If you want high returns and high security, try Estate Mortgage. Estate Mortgage. High returns. Nice and safe.
I've been researching the facts, and the clinical tests prove there isn't a pain reliever more gentle to the stomach than Panadol. Panadol from Winthrop has pure paracetamol, so Panadol provides effective relief from headache, pain, and fever. And you know you can trust it. But remember, always use Panadol only as directed. And please, see your doctor if pain persists.
Welcome back, and don't forget tomorrow a big day of sport on 7, of course, commencing with Sports World at 9 a.m, including a complete wrap of all the weekend football highlights. And of course, during the football panel, the guys will be voting for our State Bank Player of the Year award.
At the end of the 89 home and away season, the player voted the State Bank Player of the Year by our Sports World panel will receive a state banking system account worth $10,000. State Bank Victoria. We never forget it's your money.
It's a very exciting weekend in the Melbourne media with 3 new Sunday papers coming out tomorrow. And the Sunday Sun has, as its sports editor, Scott Palmer. Scotty, a very good evening.
Good evening, Pete.
I guess it's pretty exciting for you up there tonight.
It's fantastic. We've got a real great paper first up, and we're just looking forward to it being published. And it won't be long before it hits the streets, and I'm really tingling with excitement here at the moment.
Scotty, more about that shortly in general, but in particular, let's talk about the football, and I think everybody tonight is talking about the report. Williams reported 3 times for striking and once for abusive language.
Yes, that's true. 4 umpires have got him down there, but the little man he hit is the real story, because Greg Healy has come out and he's defended Williams. He said there was nothing in the incident. He hit him like that. He hit him around the shoulders, and he said Williams is his own worst enemy. He always lands in the trouble, probably when he doesn't deserve to.
He'll front the tribunal tomorrow, and I think they're going to have to be pretty quick because they're going to Greg Healy's brother's wedding.
That's right. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning they face the tribunal down there, and Gerard is getting married down at St Bede's Mentone to the lovely Lisa. He's been going with her for 8 years. It's about time he married her. And Greg's an invited guest, and Greg Williams is an invited guest, and the brother is the best man.
Now, what about injuries from that game? Eustace didn't pull up too well.
Eustace got a broken jaw. He'll be out for the season. Colin Kinnear said he was very proud of the players today, the endeavour they showed. It was just mistakes in front of goal that cost them the match.
Speaking of injuries, Scotty, we had a few out at VFL Park, and they were all Fitzroy players.
Yes, Richard Osborne, he's done a cruciate ligament. The doctor said it doesn't look good. He'll have an arthroscope probably tomorrow, and if it shows the worst, he'll go straight in and have a reconstruction of the knee. 12 months he's looking at. Bad news for the Lions. And of course, Dwayne Rowe broke his arm badly today. So badly that it might have to be pinned, and he looks like missing 6 months, Pete.
Yes, well, that happened in the first quarter, and rather coincidentally, it was Darren Mullane that collected both of them. They were both accidents, but if Fitzroy do make the 5, they're going to be pretty short on, aren't they?
Very short on. Rod Austin said, you know, it was a finals game today, and we just didn't play finals football. It was as simple as that. Of course, Lee Matthews said, well, that's 1. It's not that good because we've still got 2 to go, and we have to win them both if we're going to prove ourselves in the finals.
Very small crowd out at the Western Oval, Scotty. It might have been Footscray's last game there, but Doug Hawkins, after being in the news again yesterday, answered the challenge, didn't he?
It's Hawkins' day. He was best man on the ground, and Footscray are going to appeal against that commission decision to rub him out for a year from state duties. They're very upset about it. But President Nick Collum didn't make mention of the fact that it could be the last game at the Western Oval. He did, however, say that Mickey Malthouse had been approached by St Kilda, and he had signed a contract with Footscray for the next 2 years, but Nick himself hadn't signed it. So it leaves the way open, if anything happens to Footscray over the next few weeks, for Mickey to escape.
Well, speaking of St Kilda, the Saints, they just can't seem to win the close ones. 1 point they lost by.
1 point. Stuart Lowy was missing from centre-half forward, and, of course, Tony Lockett down at full forward. It cost them the game, obviously. Jezelenko said it was a heartbreaker today. He said a lot of people actually fainted in front of the stands in that last quarter. But he said he's finding it hard now to motivate the Blues because they're no longer in the finals. They're used to being there in September, and now they're sort of feeling in the dumps a bit.
I can understand that. Record breaker Simon Madden, how did he play against North? Because North, well, they gave the Bombers a fright, didn't they?
An average day for Simon, but he got a great kick out of his young son Joshua, wearing number 27, being there when he burst through the banner. Sheedy said he was very pleased. He's wrapped up the third position now, the double chance, and he said that's where we were when Essendon was winning premierships, and he said we've got a great opportunity now. Poor old John Kennedy said we almost pinched it, but it's no use talking about that. We didn't win, and that's it.
Scotty, just before we close tonight...
By the way, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Paul Salmon, the ankle is not as bad as a lot of people thought. 2 weeks for Salmon, he'll be back for the final.
Well, that's good news. And the paper. It's good news, basically, for Melbourne. 3 Sunday papers. We wish you all the best. Just briefly, what have you got?
Well, we've got heaps of stuff. It's 128 pages. It's got a magazine, 40-page TV magazine. The sport is sensational tomorrow, Pete. And we've got a really sensational. And we've got a big story on the merger situations. There's going to be a hitch in that on Tuesday afternoon that probably the league know about but haven't been letting on.
Scotty, I guess we still have the usual closer, do we?
I should certainly say so, Pete. Keep on punching, my lad.
Good on you, mate, and we wish you all the very best for the paper tomorrow, the Sunday Sun. We hope you've enjoyed the replay tonight. Plenty of news certainly happening all up there, isn't it? Greg Williams fronting the Tribunal tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We'll keep you up to date on that in Sports World because Brownlow medalist, he's already been ousted this year for 6 weeks, I think it was, for striking David Rhys-Jones. He's just back into some great form and he has to front up tomorrow. Sports World, basketball, VFL football, that's the menu tomorrow. Keep the dial on 7. A big day in sport tomorrow. Good night to you all.
This has been a 7 Sport presentation for the Australian Television Network.
The 1989 VFL Premiership season was proudly brought to you by the all-new Holden Nova. Gillette, the best a man can get. CUB, one of the world's great brewers. BP, on the move. And State Bank, we never forget it's your money.
The bell of creation is ringing forever in all of the things that are coming to be. The bell of creation is swinging forever, and all of the while it is ringing in me. In all of my loving, in all of my labor, in all of the things that are coming to be. In all of my loving, in all of my labor, the bell of creation is swinging in me. Ring bell over the land, ring bell under the sea. The bell of creation is ringing forever, and all of the while it is ringing in me.
You love them in Wogs Out of Work. Now see them in a riotous new half hour joining Hey Dad. Acropolis Now, Wednesday night on 7.
Tonight on Only Human, Anne Seymour meets the sexiest man on the Gold Coast. Steve Taylor asks, is this poison? Jenny Ann Jones takes a stroll down Lover's Lane in France. And Mario D'Orazio meets a young man whose life was becoming unstuck until doctors superglued his brain.
Superglue, yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
We were stunned. We couldn't believe it.